You may not realize that June is statistically the weakest month of the year for gold. Um, if you just look at gold over the last 25 years, you can see June is the standout weakest month. And you can see that particular dip in June. And if you just look from the 6th of June to the 6th of July, you can see that the average loss for gold was negative 1.46%. A negative return in 18 out of 25 years, only a 28% winning trade percentage, and there's been some quite pronounced falls in June. Hovering around the 5% mark in 2002, 2003, nearly 15%, well, certainly over 10% fall in 2013, 17 over 5% drop 2021, 2022. So let's just take note of that this pattern does highlight persistent downside pressure and a poor reward to risk profile for longs during this window. This has led to this pronounced seasonal drawdown, and this does coincide with historically quieter trading volumes. And there's also weak physical demand in this sort of mid-year lull. Now, taking a look at gold technically, gold, on the 2nd of June has broken out that descending trend line. At the time of making this video, it's currently consolidating above it, but that does look bullish in the short term. But there's this big downside gap here, just above this swing point, this swing low from early May, and this swing low from April. That could act as a magnet for price. And if we see, this could be a sort of line in the sand for dip buyers. If this comes back, maybe dip buyers will step back in at 3,150, or failing that, maybe the big round number 3,000. So it's just worth being aware. Trade risks, there are risks to this outlook. The main risk is obviously Fed policy. If the Fed become very dovish or take a surprise shift in their policy and start cutting interest rates more aggressively, then we could see further dollar weakness and more gold upside. Also, if geopolitical risk accelerates, if tariffs become more of an issue than they already are, then we could see further buying in gold. Also, if inflation rears its ugly head, once again, we could see gold finding inflation hedge bids. So it's not a straightforward play by any means, but it is worth being aware that June is the weakest month of the year for gold. Remember, don't just trade it. Seasonax, sign up here for Seasonax, where you can get access to literally thousands more different instruments where you can check out seasonal patterns across the whole year that give you that seasonal statistical edge.